and welcome to the February Energy Transmission. My name is Xenia, and thank you for being here at the Garden of the Imaginal Substack, which is my multimedia zine for all things at the intersection of energy, mysticism, creativity, and meaning making. This month feels like a big one. The theme that holds this month together is rewriting our deepest source code. This is a month where we have the opportunity to shift patterns at a really deep level, where we have the opportunity to recreate pathways that we may have been walking the same for a really long time, to turn away from automatic behaviors and instead create something much more intentional using our power. Before we dive into the transmission, along with all the divination that we have created to share with you today, I just want to invite you to go deeper with me in two places. The first place is as a paid subscriber for the Substack. All paid subscribers will receive a monthly workbook where I create a custom tarot spread based on the energies of the month ahead. You will have one for the full moon and the new moon this month. And you will also receive journal prompts to help you process the themes that we're going to talk about today, as well as the written version of the channeled messages that come through in the tarot. So I invite you to support me there. When you do that, that just enables me to do this work. And the second place is to join me on my newsletter. The newsletter and the Substack are very different. The Substack includes monthly transmissions, some podcasts, some articles, and the newsletter is where you find out about all of the inventions and creations that I'm offering, all of the new membership releases when my books open. So if you are wanting to get a little bit more writing, because I do share quite a lot on there, I invite you to join me on my newsletter, and we will be dropping all of those in the show notes below. Okay, without further ado, let's look at this month ahead. Along with the themes of rewriting our deepest source code, we have the theme of outdated programs being overwritten, the triggering of early childhood wounds to unbind our energy from those timelines and open our imagination to new possibilities, the opening to something much bigger than any single one of us, specifically deepening our connection to the heart and deepening our connection to the intelligence of the earth, and the unification of all the heartbeats, the heart of the earth, the heart of the cosmos, and the heart of humanity. And lastly, the importance of alchemizing gentleness and a need for compassion with the desire to express our truth with clarity. This month, we're going to go over a few things. First, I want to talk to you about the two stones that I pulled from the Book of Stones by Robert Simmons and Naisha Asyan. This is my go-to divination tool for the transmissions. And the stones always give us an idea of the most potent themes that this community will be working with in the coming month. And it was really interesting. It took me such a long time to choose the stone. I was closing my eyes and feeling into my heart, and it's almost like I had to shuffle a deck 1,000 times. When I finally opened up to the page, the stone that came through was rose quartz. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I then pulled a secondary stone for us to get a sort of more nuanced look. We are also working with the energy of chlorite phantom crystal. So let's talk about what this all means. A lot of you may be familiar with rose quartz. It's a very common pink quartz. You can sometimes find it if you are walking along the beach in certain areas. And the first message from rose quartz is that we're going to start to understand things that we have been familiar with or that seem cliche on a much deeper level. It's really important not to devalue the simple or overlook the familiar in an addiction to needing novelty all the time. And rose quartz is asking us if we are ready to learn and embody and receive the frequency of love, if we are ready to step into the space of our hearts as our main intelligence center. And we are doing this both as a collective and also individually. Now, obviously, we're going through a really difficult time right now. And the heart chakra is the space of unconditional love, but also of immense pain and sympathy, empathy, and compassion. It is a place where we break out of our illusion of the separate self and are able to empathize and see other people's pain as our own pain, to remember that we are all a manifestation of one divine source. The breaking open of the heart and the breaking of the heart are connected to the reclaiming of the heart as the center of our intelligence. The main themes for rose quartz are love, gentleness, emotional healing, the release of stress, and uniting with the divine. Its element is the water element, and the chakra is the heart chakra. And these are the words from the Book of Stone. So let's look at the most important themes. Love is a shift in consciousness. And so this sentence I'm about to say may feel like a good guiding light for you throughout the month, especially as you are considering how you want to contribute to the collective. When one is truly experiencing love, one is not thinking about giving and receiving, because the lover and the beloved have become one. When one is truly experiencing love, one is not thinking about giving and receiving, because the lover and the beloved have become one. Today, I saw on Instagram, on the account The Source Junkie, a repost from somebody who goes by Wanderslut, like Wanderlust, but a play on Wanderlust to Wanderslut. This person was sharing how they felt like the people who are doing the most oppressive, offensive, and violent things are people who don't know how to receive love, who don't know how to open up to love, and who maybe have never had an experience of love, or of resistance to love, or a lack of familiarity with it. I think that's something to bear in mind as we talk about rose quartz. Rose quartz helps us to heal our heart's wounds and reawaken its ability to trust. Through the vibration of rose quartz, we are able to soothe our emotions. And as we soothe our emotions, we calm and cleanse our auric fields. This allows us to release tension and stress, and to dissolve anger and resentment, fear and suspicion, and to rebirth hope and faith in the benevolence of the universe. So let's talk about this. If you have been familiar with me and my work for a long time, you understand that my main goal in life is to really understand what it means to be human in the full spectrum of our humanity. And for many of us, culturally and historically, our spirituality has been displaced, corrupted, or suppressed or disrespected. So a lot of us come into the spiritual world really hungry, really thirsty for that nurturing of that lens of compassion, that lens of the great beyond. But over and over, I remind myself that even if our true nature is to be connected to all that is, there has to be a reason why we drop into human form and have this physical embodied experience. There is an intelligence to it. So when I bring up this invitation from rose quartz to release tension and stress, it is not to escape reality. It is not to demean the intelligence of our emotions, our rage, our grief, but it is to remind us that we always have the ability to zoom out into our spiritual knowing of why we are here, and the spiritual tools we are given that allow us to craft our experience and master our energy, while also allowing the intelligence of our feelings and experience to be validated, witnessed, held, and acknowledged. So, this invitation of rose quartz to release anger and resentment is in balance to and in relationship with allowing ourselves to feel the resentment, allowing ourselves to feel the anger. And so, the way I'm personally reading this is to remind ourselves of the practices and intentions that we want to have for February daily. So, if you are someone participating in general strikes, which I'm guessing there will be more of, if you are someone who is up to date with news because you want to do the daily actions being suggested by the organizers you trust most, it is really important to balance that with your spiritual practice of going into your heart and putting yourself into a field of love by placing your awareness in your heart space and rebalancing and healing your field and reviving a sense of connection to something greater than you so that your mind does not start to fall into patterns of reactivity and control, which is what it helps us do. It helps us to understand what we have agency for in the mental field in the human world. So we need to zoom out to resource ourselves, to fill our cup so that when we turn to the actions that are truest to us, whatever those actions are for you as a soul, as a human, we are doing it from a place of resourcefulness, being resourced. The stone of rose quartz also invites us to activate the human heart chakra, which links our heart to the heart of the earth and the heart of the universe. This is a practice I do often in my containers. When you think of the beating hearts of the earth and the universe and the humanity all as one, it reminds us that in essence, everything is a creative manifestation of one divine imagination. And a lot of times we can get caught in this trap of trying to decide what's most important, the galactic us, the human embodied us, or our connection to earth. But really, those three hearts can be in unity. Rose quartz is also said to be able to reprogram the cells for joy and longevity rather than despair and death. And if you're in time study with me, you understand that shifting our perspective changes the way we understand gravity, the way we understand space and time, so therefore the way we understand everything. And it's a month to really open up to the possibility that we can reprogram ourselves on such a level where what we thought was just the way things are, including this belief that everything decays, everything goes into entropy, everything has to have destruction, that we can remember there is also a space within us that is designed for joy, that is designed for health. And so to balance this constant programming of destruction, can we welcome in the vibration of love to enter our field and its healing properties through allowing joy in our lives? Joy that is true and real, joy that reminds us of what it means to be human, not the joy that is sold to us to make us buy more stuff, but the joy that lives in relishing the beauty that exists in nature, in laughing with our loved ones, in observing the miracles of life that are all around us. It also helps us to focus on love. It helps us to create more harmony in interactions. It helps to stimulate our crown chakra, third eye, and throat and bring them into unity with the heart. And it's helpful for dissolving the illusion of separation, both between strangers and those who know each other. It's helpful to bring in the energy of compassion, which is not to have zero boundaries, but instead to remember this field of connection where all beings are connected, where all beings are resourced. It helps us to clear the emotional body and assist in the integration and resolution of old emotional programs. So I really want to emphasize what an opportunity we have this month to be responsible for programs that we are ready to change. It is so easy to say, well, I am just XYZ. I am this person. because I decided that this is part of my identity. But this month is just such an invitation for a rewrite of those assumptions about ourselves. The heart center is the strongest generator of light energy in the body, stronger than the brain. So there's an invitation here to work with any spells and rituals using the intelligence of light for healing. It's a stone of protection for children and a strong heart energy that transforms negativity into compassion and understanding. So if you are someone who's really keen on understanding where people are coming from, this is a good month to lean into what the wisdom of understanding is teaching you. Rose quartz helps us to calm the mind, assists in releasing worry, fear, anxiety from past emotional trauma, clearing the emotional body of ego-driven patterns, and help one feel more open to receiving, sharing love. Shifts us from stress-based physiology to the higher frequencies of love-based physiology. So know that when I say higher and lower, I'm not saying that hierarchically. We all know what we feel like when we are in a state of fight or flight. And sometimes that's appropriate because we are in a situation in which we are in danger. A lot of times we're not actually physically in danger when we're feeling that way. So this month is an invitation to return to the practices that center your heart, that teach you, when possible, to choose to shift your emotional state towards the vibration of love through your energetic knowing, your energetic practices. The second stone that is guiding us this month is chlorite phantom. And the keywords for chlorite phantom crystal are self-healing, regeneration, connection with the earth and nature spirits. The elements are storm and earth, and the chakras are the heart and the third eye. So with this stone, we are invited to connect to the plants and connect to all of nature. And interestingly, once again, invited to resonate with the heartbeat of the earth and learn from the earth how to recalibrate our energy so that when there is a lot of excessive energy or unbalanced emotional energy, we can regulate our nervous systems with the earth. It helps us to be a responsible and active partner with the Earth's evolution, reminding us that the consciousness of the Earth and the consciousness of humanity are in a partnership where they evolve together. Because the world is in such a state of stress, shock, and disarray, there's an invitation here to not only go into the heart, but to connect with the planet and the plants, to remind yourself that we are all unified and connected because we share this one home that is the mother to all of us in so many ways. And so this is a way to take a little bit of responsibility and agency for our energy by working with what life gives us, which includes our heart portal and includes the earth portal. This stone helps us to achieve health and balance through our vibrational and physical aspects by successively realigning all levels of one's being with optimal soul energy. So what I am thinking about this month is how our energy bodies are growing, how our energy and consciousness is evolving, and how we are learning our bodies have to also realign to create coherence for these bigger energies. I, for one, have found a movement practice that I love and have been doing it 5 to 7 days a week for the last 3 weeks. And it is really showing me how much my physical care for myself is related to my energetic and mental care for myself. So this stone reminds us that things like taking a walk in the forest, if you're so lucky, or by a river, is just as spiritual or energetically impactful as sitting at your altar or doing some sort of complicated practice. It helps us to create coherence with the Earth's electromagnetic field. There have been a lot of solar flares lately, so that can really throw our energy into a state of decoherence for a moment. So there's this invitation with this stone to become coherent with the planet through working with the consciousness of the planet. It helps us receive healing instructions and information from spirit or our guides, moving frequency into our physical and energetic systems to be more receptive to healing energy. So with these two stones together, what it feels like is like February is going to be another month, just like January, of a lot of change, a lot of mental energy, a lot of unpredictability and things to process. And it's this reminder that we do have this invitation to find compassion and gentleness through our metaphysical and spiritual practices, through our earth connection. The affirmation for the stone is: I link myself to the earth and the world of nature, finding there the keys to inner balance, health, and well-being. Okay. The affirmation for rose quartz is: I open my heart to receive and express the energy of love. So now we will talk about some of the messages from the tarot from the month. I was working with this new deck, which was gifted to me, so I've only had it for a little while. It is called the Celestial Oracle. It was created by Haley Poole, known as Aurora's Cosmic Canvas. The card I pulled is Archangel Gabriel. The message from Archangel Gabriel is that this is a month for speaking your truth, having clear communication, inspiration, and the courage to share. This is the messenger angel that guides messages from spirit to humanity, which support prophecy, creative inspiration, and clarity of expression. He reminds us that our voice is sacred and potent, and his message is: speak your truth, let your words carry your soul's light. So in combination with the stone guides, we are encouraged to use our voice, but also to come from a place of choice, intention, and responsibility, your ability to respond, rather than coming from reactivity or taking your unprocessed emotions and trying to throw them out into the universe at some particular person or out into the void. Instead, to use your voice and your communication thoughtfully. And there's also this reminder that when we use our voice and create, we are transmuting energy. So when there's a lot of static or noise in the field, the stronger our communication is with ourselves, the more stable we can feel in our own knowing. The less static and interference can go deeply into us. So an important time to express your truth. So the energies that we were calling in, I was working with the Aquarian Tarot as well as this Doreen Virtue, these two Doreen Virtue angel decks I use. And for calling in, we got the Page of Cups reversed in the Aquarian Tarot and blessings. And here's the message. This month is a time where our imagination is being healed deeply. It's coming forward, and a lot of the places where we have suppressed or repressed our imaginative abilities, they're kind of unfreezing. But along with their unfreezing are the reasons or wounds they froze in the first place. That childhood wounding of disrespect or misunderstanding or insensitivity. The energies of early childhood are coming up in order to bring with them the gifts of early childhood, which is belief and imagining something bigger is possible. So this is a time to observe when you are feeling that trigger of old timelines healing and that energy locked in the past trying to join you in the present. This is a time to learn that you are capable of holding space for that aspect of yourself to heal. And it's a reminder that your capacity to hold space for your early childhood wounds, to transform, to transmute, is in its way a part of your expansion and in a way a blessing. The energies that we are clearing out, the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So here you see this family facing their castle underneath their perfect archway. And then we got the card Manifestation in the angel deck. So, what are we clearing out? We're clearing out judgments and corruptions around our ideas of success and wealth. These are dissolving. Those markers or imprints that we received from society and culture and family about success and wealth, what they mean about us, are dissolving. We're releasing attachment to status symbols. And we're also releasing resistance to knowing our true desires and judging our desires. So we are, in a lot of ways, dissolving what we were told we want as a collective, as our systems and cultures and institutions that upheld those false beliefs are also dissolving. We're dissolving a culture that makes us always want what is unattainable. We are healing our relationship with desire energetically. And in that process, it could be really supportive this month to physically and energetically focus on clearing and decluttering anything that is just not really relevant to your now moment truth and your now moment values. The tool to support us this month was the Lovers from the Aquarian Tarot, as well as the card support from the Angel deck. So this month, we are learning a lot about, again, like this idea of love and compassion is so important. We are learning how to alchemize polarity. We are learning the ways in which the personal and the collective are mirrors for each other. We are starting to understand our relationships as really useful mirrors that are showing us what we judge, what we suppress, what we deny, and also what we are ready to see more clearly and own, and what we're not ready to own. So this month really does ask us repeatedly to see from the eyes of love. And when we are unable to access that lens, and we're feeling very, very contracted because of our intense embodied human experience, we're being offered the opportunity to ask for support, not just from the people that we know, like our therapists and healers and practitioners, but to ask for support from our spiritual team, our unseen realms of guidance, the universe. So it feels like we are ready to really understand what it means to move into the frequency of love and to unite what we have been taught was separate. It is a month of really learning and remembering the truth of who we are, and to ask where we resist giving and where we resist receiving love, where we resist being seen, where we resist seeing others or seeing ourselves. So this month, if you are willing to see from the eyes of love, a lot will be revealed to you. A lot will be revealed to you. Lastly, we have a message from the guides, and we received the King of Swords reversed and the two angel cards of self-acceptance, surrender, and release. Surrender and release. So here's the message. You are an important juncture where you have the opportunity to rewrite the source code of your belief structures. What are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to accept about yourself and who you are? Which scripts are you going to choose to keep running from the past that tell you that you need to be different than how you naturally are? There's this opportunity to develop inner maturity and to develop the skill of mastering our thoughts and to have agency over the programs that we're going to allow to run. Are you ready to learn to author as much of your life as possible? Are you ready to be the author of your inner world? Are you ready to claim that power? What do you need to let go of in order to say yes? So it feels like a month where love running in the background, where we're turning to what unites us, allows these kind of separation programs to be rewritten, to be resolved, to be shifted. And obviously things don't happen overnight, but if you return steadily to your practices, what I was shown last month, that's just so simple, probably annoyingly simple, is everything you practice, you get better at. Everything you practice, you get better at. So just to also review the astro for the month, February 1st, Sunday is the Leo full moon and also the cross-quarter holiday of Imbolc, the midpoint of winter, a celebration of things beginning to thaw. So a great day to do spells around ice melting, meaning abolishing ice. On February 13th, Saturn will enter Aries again and stay there until April 12th of 2028, which brings in this theme of self-leadership, of inner ignition, of responsible creativity, of mature passion. February 17th, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius. A solar eclipse in Aquarius, and in the workbook, we'll be giving you a tarot spread to carry you through that. And then February 20th is the headline of the month. That is really important conjunction where Saturn, this planet of boundaries and limitations and maturity and teaching and respect and elders, comes together with Neptune, this planet of transcendence, imagination, spirituality, but also illusion and delusion. They come together at 0 degrees of Aries, which is called both the creator degree because it's the very first degree of the zodiac. It's like the restart of a new chapter, the restart of a new era. And it's also called the world axis degree. And they have not come together in that degree for a really long time. So this is a collective moment of understanding how we want our imagination to become a new structure, completely new, turning a new page, starting a new cycle. What do we want to create? What do we really want to bring down into the world as a structure from our imagination? What is that relationship we want to have? What's that narrative we want to write? And then on February 26th, Mercury will retrograde in the sign of Pisces. It will be retrograde until the spring equinox on March 20th. So we will be sharing some journal prompts and some spreads for that in the workbook. And I really love to hear from you how you are doing, how this lands for you, what you're doing to support yourself, what media you've been listening to. So please do share in the comments. When you share that way, we create a community instead of just one person talking outward. And that's really the name of the game this year, is the power of community. So I will see you next time for the next transmission. And please join me over on my newsletter if you're not already there. And may this serve you in the highest and best way for your beautiful heart. Please take care, gardeners. Thank you for listening. Oh my gosh. And you guys, I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you the music you're listening to is by Kristen Sontag from Sunday Diamond NYC. We will link that album in the show notes. Highly recommend you check it out. I also want to invite you to our only open February workshop. It is called Expansive Reframes to Cultivate a Supportive Relationship with Discipline. It's going to be taught by Athena Sayaka, who is just a really incredible person to learn from when it comes to being neuroexpansive and developing your own practices. Athena is one of the most interesting and surprising people I have ever met. I highly recommend you join if you are really interested in developing an expansive relationship with devotion. So we will link that in the show notes. And thank you again for tuning in. Bye, gardeners.